Oh, good morning. Hope all of you are well. Stephen Hobbs here from the Wealth Movement, sharing with you the title of Eat, Ate, and Tea of Food. My favorite food and preparation disaster. Just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight about food as it relates to my life at this point in time, framed by over the years, I've had some great food, and luckily I can say I haven't had a lot of food. So, from a perspective of eat, I am one who leans into more of a keto diet and eating from that perspective, and I enjoy it. And one of the things is that I get an opportunity just to play because I'm learning about it at this point in time. I'm wanting to understand more about this nutrition and how it's assisting me in living my great life, living my extraordinary life, living my legacy life. So, from a perspective of eating, I get an opportunity to explore. I've had the pleasure, I would say, I've ate in a lot of different kinds of restaurants around the world. Friends have shared with me different kinds of ethnic food, and all of that has been wonderful as well. And I can say is that I have not eaten or ate anything that would I would consider to be, oh my goodness, why was I even eating that at the time? There's probably close calls, but I had opportunities to interact with those who assisted me with that, and I'm going to leave it at that because don't need to go into the details of all of that. But there's the aspect of tea that is kind of fun. I'd like to add that one as well. Tea from the perspective of all the different kinds of teas that are available. I lean into an Earl Grey tea when I want to have one, or a green tea, a ginger green tea. I've experimented with a lot of different kinds of teas over the years as well. And I keep coming back to the few that really make sense to my palate. And I enjoy them from that perspective. So, this notion of eat, ate, and tea of food, I think you might notice is that eat, ate, and tea all use the same letters of the alphabet. And I love to play with words, so I just thought that I would have some food fun with those three words. Now, I also mentioned I was going to share a little bit with you about food disasters and from a food prep perspective and a story that I'd like to get out around that one. And then my favorite foods. So let's start with the favorite foods. I think that would be kind of an interesting way to go. I enjoy and I know from a keto diet point of view, it'd be, but I enjoy a good French fry every once in a while. So I'm just going to acknowledge that right off the top. It's not that I eat it all the time. It's just that I enjoy it, and when I get an opportunity to have more of the French fry with the peel still on, washed, peeled on, then I'll enjoy myself, but I'll just get a small bag. It's okay. Now, the other foods that I enjoy is that I like a good hamburger every once in a while, and I make my own version of that nowadays, and that's fun. And I enjoy mixing up an interesting salad, and I use different ingredients all the time. Yeah, with a little balsamic vinegar and olive oil and some spices that go with that. So I enjoy that the simpler foods now. I used to make French onion soup and peach flambe and Yorkshire pudding with roast potatoes and beef and all these other kinds of meals. I think at one point in time, if I was to say my favorite meal would have been scalloped potatoes. Oh, to be able to have that dish at the end with the serving spoon and to be able to sort of tuck it in front of you and then sort of scrape the side of the bowl. That was always fun for me, and that I had to mention it. It's not something I have now because a lot of it has the flour and milk, and I'm attempting to reduce as much of that as possible. Now, I mentioned about food disasters, and I think it'd be fair to say, and I did a little reflecting before I thought I'd jump on this video and just share a little bit about eat, ate, and tea of food. How many disasters did I have in preparing food? And I could only think of one where it was such a disaster I couldn't eat any of it, that I was prepping a meal for a friend of myself, and I've forgotten some of the ingredients on the stove, and they got a little bit on the burnt side, and it just did not taste like anything that we could eat. And I know what I had to do was order in a pizza. And by extension, there was another time I just remembered now where I was mixing some different ingredients and trying some new recipe, I guess you would call it, one that I made up. Oy vey, it, it did not work. And that was another pizza order in. So I guess there's two that I can think of at this point in time. Really burnt, and another one with an experiment that didn't quite work. So with that, I wanted to just share a little bit about eat, ate, and tea of food, because it's another way to get to know a little bit more about myself. And as I get to know more about yourself, as you are involved in solo aging, so a lot of what I'm talking about now is I am cooking for myself. Occasionally I have friends over, but I tend to do most of the cooking for myself. And this notion of legacy. So I don't think that I'll be putting a recipe book together as part of my legacy, but there will be some remembrances of some meals that I prepared that I think went down in the annals of, that was good. And I can certainly, in my own heart of hearts, say I contributed to someone's enjoyment around the table. What I do now is I just bring very simple things to friends' meals when they invite me over, and that's great as well. So I thought that I would share that with you just so that you might get to know a little bit more about me. And certainly comment in below if you've got a favorite food you want to add in, go for it. Now there's another video that I think that I might do, which is I might do a little bit of food prep. And I'm not quite sure if it would be the scalloped potatoes, because I go, okay, why not have it one more time? Or something else. So we'll see how this all unfolds. So with that, have a great day and take care.